Hinduism, a religion with over 1 billion followers, is the world's oldest. Hinduism, a religion with over 1 billion followers, is the world's oldest religion and probably the most complex. Some find it confusing, filled with unnecessary rituals, while others struggle to understand how there can be so many gods yet still speak of one ultimate power. Is it one god in many forms or many gods with different roles? Then there is the question of karma and reincarnation. Are these just philosophical ideas or do they actually make sense? With such diversity in beliefs and practices, how do we even define what does it mean to be a Hindu? Let's dive in. To understand Hinduism, it is essential to recognize that it's more than a religion. It's a way of life. Let's take the story of Valmiki as an example. Now, Valmiki was a robber who once held up a group of saints and demanded their possessions. The saints replied that they had nothing to give to him, but posed a question. You've killed and troubled so many people for your family, but would your wife and kids share the consequences of your sins? Curious Valmiki asked his wife, who flatly refused, saying, "Why would I?" This realization shattered him. Everything he did till date was for his family, yet they wouldn't share this burden. Feeling lost, he returned to the saints and asked them what to do. They advised him to chant and meditate on Lord Rama's name, who's the supreme soul. Over time, he transformed into Rishi Valmiki, the sage who composed the epic Ramayana. This story shows that Hinduism isn't about rituals, but understanding life's deeper truths, and also shows that breaking free from the cycle of birth and death and attaining eternal happiness by merging with the divine is the ultimate goal. Now, Hinduism is built on a few core philosophies. The first one being, a human being has two forms, the outer body and the inner soul. The body is temporary while the soul is eternal. When a person dies, the soul leaves the body, which is why the body becomes lifeless and begins to decay. But what drives the soul? According to Hinduism, it is the supreme soul or Paramatma that drives and sustains the soul. Think of it like this. The outer lamp structure represents the body. It is temporary and holds everything together. The flame inside the lamp represents the soul, which is also called as Atma. It gives life and light, but it is sustained by a higher power, the energy source, like oil in our case, which represents the supreme soul, who is also called as Param Atma. It powers the flame and ensures its existence. So the body, soul, and the supreme soul are all interconnected, with the supreme soul being the ultimate source of all the existence. Now, coming to the second one, which is the cycle of life and death. Now, Hinduism teaches that life is a continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The ultimate goal of the soul is to break free from this cycle and unite with the supreme soul. Now, this is achieved through spiritual practices, self-realization, and surrendering to the divine. Now, karma plays a crucial role here. Everything you do, drinking water, helping someone, or causing harm, is all karma. Good karma leads to rewards like heaven, which is called as Swarga, while bad karma results in suffering, which is called as Naraka. Now, think of karma as a bank account. Every good deed adds to your account, while bad deducts from it. Now, as long as there is any balance, positive or negative, the cycle of life and death continues. However, true liberation, which we call as moksha, is not just about clearing this account, but about letting go of it altogether. Now, this means you must not be attached to the results of either good karma or the bad karma. Surrendering to the supreme soul means rising above all these dualities and realizing that true freedom comes from letting go of all these karmic attachments. Now, as Krishna says rightly in the Bhagavad Gita, surrender yourself to me and I'll free you from all the cycle of life and death. Now, there is one question that comes very often: why so many gods? Hinduism, known for its countless gods, probably more than a crore. But this isn't as confusing as it seems. All these gods represent different aspects of one ultimate reality called the Brahman. Now, think of the Supreme Soul as a king and all these gods as mantris, that is, the ministers who work for the king, each managing a specific responsibility in the kingdom given by the king. Each god symbolizes a specific aspect of life, making it easier for the people to connect with the divine. For example, Lakshmi represents wealth and prosperity, Agni symbolizes fire and energy, Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge and learning, and likewise. So, Hinduism isn't about worshipping many gods separately, it's about understanding that all these forms are interconnected and serve the same divine source. This inclusivity allows everyone to find their unique path to spirituality. Now, coming to the third, Hindus believe in Vedas, which are four ancient texts considered the foundation of Hinduism. However, since the Vedas are very complex and difficult to interpret, Krishna himself gave the Bhagavad Gita, which is an essence of all the Vedas and also acts as a guidebook offering practical wisdom for the right living. Now, time in Hinduism is seen as cyclical with no beginning or end. It is divided in four yugas: Krita, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. Together, these four yugas span 4.32 million years, and their durations vary, such as Krita Yuga has 1.728 million years, Treta has 1.296 million years, while Dwapara has just 8,64,000 years, and Kali has 4,32,000 years. Now, at the end of each cycle, morality declines, leading to the destruction of reality, only for the cycle to start anew. Each of the cycles of four yugas is called a Chatur Yuga or a Mahayuga. Now, 71 such Chatur Yugas or cycles make up one Manvantara. And we are currently in the 20th Manvantara. This means 71 times 27 Chatur Yugas have already passed, amounting to 1917 cycles so far. We are now in the 20th cycle, 4th Yuga, known as the Kali Yuga, which spans 4,32,000 years. And according to tradition, Kali Yuga began 5,000 years ago, leaving approximately 4,27,000 years still to go. So Hinduism is vast, diverse, and deep. And it's not a religion, but a way of life that embodies the cultural, social, and spiritual essence of the Bharatiya society, encompassing its values, traditions, and philosophies. While whatever I said barely scratches the surface, understanding its basics is a good start. Thank you so much.